Hey everybody, it's another episode of See the GTV, and today I'm talking about 3 tips in how to cope with anxiety and stress using self-portraiture as medicine. The first time I realized that photography could be used to help me with stress was when Max was around 1 year old and he needed a daily nap routine. And I think he caught wind of the fact that I really wanted him to nap so that I could go make a sandwich and like stare at the wall for a while because he refused to nap. Or he would nap for a second and I would tiptoe out of the room and he would wake up and cry. And all efforts for any break time for mommy were then null and void. I realized that situation wasn't going to change and that I needed to change something within me so that I could handle the fact that Max needed to nap, and it was up to me to be able to be there for him and deal with whatever the situation was. So I decided to take my iPhone with me the next time it was nap time, and I put it next to the bed. And as soon as he fell asleep, I took the camera and held it up above me and took a picture of the two of us. And what I realized when I looked at that picture was that I had been missing the moment that mattered, which was this really beautiful time that I could have been sharing with Max. And instead, I was in my head, totally anxious, totally stressed out, trying to make him sleep so that I could leave the room. And it changed everything for me, and it started a 3-year project that I call Nap Time, where I became curious about how Max would fall asleep. And usually it was with his hand on my cheek or his foot on my leg or some semblance of something that required snuggling, which I just became just enamored with finding these little moments of the two of us together. And I have said it in the past, I do consider every photo that we take a self-portrait because it is sharing our unique point of view in that moment. So it doesn't really matter if my face is in the picture or not, or if it's just about his feet touching me or whatever it happens to be in that moment. It is self-portraiture as medicine. So for tip 1, it's really about becoming curious about the stress and anxiety and what is causing it and turning your camera towards it and becoming curious about the light and the composition and the situation and really breathing into that moment and noticing how it can shift from stress and anxiety to a deeper sense of calm. Okay, so tip number 2, I have mentioned this in previous videos that I've asked you to just think about how you're feeling and think about what sort of landscape or something outside yourself could express that emotion. This is more like a challenge to find something and create something beautiful out of this anxious and stressful state that you're in. Tip number 3, okay, this is where you can turn the camera towards yourself, and if you are uncomfortable with the camera facing you, this is what I suggest. Find a space near a window with diffused light and set up your camera. If it's an iPhone, put it on self-timer and set it up on something, and then move over to that beautiful light and close your eyes and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and allow the camera to capture that moment of deep breathing. And don't just do it once, do it several times. Create a series of images of your deep breathing in this moment, and it will help you not only to get more centered, but I bet you will be surprised by the beauty in which you're creating with the light and the composition, and you'll feel a sense of calm within yourself. You know what? I have another tip. I'm going to give you 4 instead of 3 today. The 4th tip is to take yourself on a timed photo walk. And I consider this more like a moving meditation for those of us who don't like to sit still and meditate. I love the use of the camera as a tool for meditation and reflection and to get out of my own way, basically. So set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and go out, right out your front door, and start looking for clues of things that just pull to you. There's no reason to try to make something beautiful because it will present itself to you. Just become curious and allow the world to show itself to you and start creating imagery. And I'm telling you, it will pull you out of your brain for at least 10 minutes. And that is really the key, right? We want to use the camera as a tool to shift our attention and our perception of what's happening in our life right now. I think that in our everyday life, we tend to not notice where we really are and the beauty that is really everywhere. And so taking a photo walk, especially when stressed out, can really help you notice how enchanted your life is right now and the abundance that's really plentiful everywhere and in every breath. So there you go. There's 4 tips on how to cope with stress and anxiety using self-portraiture as medicine. If you're interested in these tips and this has been helpful to you, I am coming up with If this has been helpful to you and you'd like to explore this more, And if you found these tips useful and you would like to explore this more, come join me on Self-Portraiture as Medicine in a 10-week online course. You can click the link below with more information and join us. We start February 12th. And if you like this video, click the link below and subscribe for the next one coming up. I'm so glad you are here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao.